So what does it really take to get down to 10 to 15% body fat naturally? And most importantly, what does it take to maintain that? Not just for a couple of weeks, not just for 1 month, but for years. How do you make that a sustainable lifestyle long-term? That's exactly what this video is about. I'm going to share with you my 3 biggest epiphanies for getting lean and staying lean. They're going to help you save you time, energy, and effort and show you how to think like someone who's already there. And this is going to get you on the right path, help you stay on that path so you can finally reach your goals. So let's dive right into it. The first thing you need to do in order to get these results is something I would call installing a new operating system. No diet will work until your mindset around fitness has changed. Most people struggle with losing body fat and keeping it off because the way they approach the journey is, okay, I'm gonna do this X diet for this length of time, and then I'm gonna go back to living my life. That's exactly what happens. They go back to living their life and regain all the weight. As much as people say they want to change, we humans all suffer from what's called the status quo bias. We go back to the status quo, we go back to what's familiar, regardless of how bad it is there. And for me, when I started out as an overweight software engineer, one of the hardest things to contemplate was that I had to change what I considered normal. It wasn't enough to make a simple incremental improvement. It had to be a complete overhaul of how I think about fitness to really make it a part of who I am. It's that equivalent of you can't install a new piece of software on Windows XP or Mac OS from 2005. It wouldn't work. You need a new mental operating system. And for me, the result of that was a lifelong commitment to being the healthiest and the fittest person that I can be no matter what. And most people that I know that have achieved the transformation and kept it actually had that same moment where things clicked. For some, it was a gradual process where they went one habit at a time, then it clicked. For others, it was quitting cold turkey with a bunch of bad habits and never looking back. Regardless of how you approach this, as long as you hit the like button, this is one of the most important mental shifts you can have on your journey, because then getting lean and staying lean becomes a part of who you are, your identity. It becomes a new normal, and then you will be successful because you're committed for that long-term improvement no matter what. You will be doing this for the rest of your life. Now, the second thing that I realized about getting these results is that it involves a lot of saying no. You're saying no to your old habits, you're saying no to that extra bite, you're saying no to that extra drink, you're saying no to your laziness, you're saying no to your doubts, you're saying no to your excuses and your rationalizations, you're saying no to going harder on the diet after you had a slip up. You're really learning how to say no. And it goes even deeper than this. The journey of getting lean is a simple game of delayed gratification. You're choosing to experience the discomfort of not having that short-term reward now in exchange for having that greater reward later. And when you think about it, it goes even deeper. It's about really learning how to say no to yourself. It's about developing self-discipline, because a lot about getting lean is inaction. It's what you don't do. Yeah, sure, there's resistance training, managing your macros and calories and getting your sleep and getting your steps, but there's also the fact that you don't eat. You do not do the action, and that's as equally as important as what you do. And for me, before I got into fitness, I really wasn't a disciplined person. I didn't understand what discipline really meant. But as I went through the process of getting lean, it really showed me that there are 2 parts of me. There's that irrational, instinctual part of me that just wants to eat whatever, it's YOLO mode, it's reactive. And there's that rational, long-term thinking, objective goals part of me. And I have to learn to manage both of these. I needed structure. I needed a way to organize myself. I finally understood what it meant to say no to yourself. And this is then what translated into more discipline across the board in all areas of my life. And this is what Charles Dewey calls a keystone habit. And if you haven't read his book, The Power of Habit, I highly recommend it. And fitness can be this for you as well. If you allow it to change you, if you commit to the journey of self-improvement, you will not only get better results in fitness, but you will actually improve in all areas of your life. Now, the third thing that I've learned, having seen so many people come and go, thousands who try to do this, is the majority of people aren't willing to make the sacrifices required to get there. I remember listening to Tim Ferriss' podcast with Derek Sivers where he said that if information was the answer, then we'd all be billionaires with perfect abs. In other words, if this was easy and as simple as finding the right video or the program or whatever, then everybody would be doing it. But that's clearly not the case. And it's actually very far from that. For example, hundreds of thousands of people have seen my videos on walking. A very large percentage of those people saw the video, liked it, thought it was nice, and then they didn't take any action. And there's a percentage of people that took action, they started doing it, but then after a few weeks, they dropped off. And then there's that tiny percentage of people who made it a part of their routine, who made it a habit, who continue doing it, and only that last group, that tiny percentage, is really reaping the benefits. And it's not the lack of information. It's not that walking is some kind of very, very difficult, strenuous activity for most people. And it's not even that they can't see the benefit of it. It's very obvious. You take one walk, you feel better. It's really the fact that most people weren't willing to make the sacrifices to consistently do walking as a part of their routine. They didn't want to go through that discomfort of making it a habit, of reorganizing their lives in order to actually make that a part of their life. And that's just walking. Think about the discomfort that comes with lifting weights and pushing yourself in the gym or changing your diet. Most people would love to have the result, but they're not willing to do anything hard to get there. And the truth is, hard work and time are required no matter how many shortcuts or hacks you have or how wealthy you are. You have to apply yourself. Fitness is honest. Use it or lose it. You execute or you don't. You take action or you don't take action. And you have to get uncomfortable if you want to see great results. The way I see it, there are actually two types of discomfort. You have the discomfort of doing the work now, or you have the greater discomfort that comes later when you don't live up to your own standard and you have to deal with the consequences of that. So I simply choose to take action now and deal with that discomfort, and I invite you to do the same. And I also invite you to hit that subscribe button below, make sure to enable notifications by hitting the bell icon as well. Details for coaching if you want to work with me are in the description below. Check those out. Also going to leave a video here at the end that's going to really help you in your journey, so check out that video, and I'm going to see you right there.